Good morning, Chair Hussey, the members of the board. We are now live and recording.
Good morning. It is 9:58 a.m. and this meeting of the Agricultural Labor Relations Board is now called to order. We will please mute your devices so that we can ensure good audio for all the participants of the meeting. We'll first go through the roll. Board Member Broad.
Present.
Board Member Flores.
Present.
Board Member Lightstone.
Present.
Thank you. And I understand Board Member Hall is performing his civic duty and serving on a jury duty today, so he will not be joining us. We are deferring approval of the most recent meeting minutes to a subsequent meeting. In terms of the chair's report, I don't have too much to add other than to know I will be attending an all-day administrative leadership series on transformational leadership next Tuesday, July 16th. That conflicts with the board meeting, but in the interest of time, we wanted to keep the board meeting going so we can get full participation in our regulatory process. And I encourage those to come forward with public comments. We do appreciate the input. That concludes the chair's report. Santiago, do we have an executive secretary's report today?
Not today.
Okay, thank you. And then we do not have an administrative services report. I will check in with our general counsel. Julie, do you have anything to report today?
Yes, good morning. Give me one moment here. So just very briefly, we have a settlement that I'd like to report out of Region 1. And the respondent is Sea Smoke Inc. And in this case, two grape harvesters in Santa Barbara County filed a charge in August of 2023. And also another one in October of 2023. And both charges allege that Sea Smoke retaliated against them and others by changing their work assignments to work on more arduous terrain. And then they terminated their employment because they engaged in protected concerted activity when they asked for a wage increase together as a group, and also reported unfair treatment by their supervisor. The parties entered into a settlement agreement on July 3rd, just last week, in which the respondent agreed to pay $15,683 to 5 workers, and that includes back pay, interest, and excess tax liability. And respondent also agreed to standard noticing remedies. So just want to give a shout out to our staff in Region 1 who were able to get that great result for charges filed less than a year ago. So we really like to see people get paid as soon as possible. So kudos to Region 1 for that. We also just have been out conducting outreach as usual. Our staff tabled and distributed materials at a migrant education program resource fair hosted by the Santa Clara Office of Education in San Benito County. I believe that was in the city of Hollister. We also have staff providing office hours at Cause, a nonprofit in Santa Maria. And our staff provided in-person training to students of the Central Valley Opportunity Center and community members in the Modesto area on June 27th. On June 30th, our staff distributed materials at Oxnard College SWAT meet and also provided office hours hosted by MyCop in Santa Maria. And so they're busy getting out there in the heat and letting people know about their rights under the Agricultural Labor Relations Act. So thank you to our staff for all their wonderful work and in both regions. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And appreciate all that work. Great job. Next, we will go on, and I apologize, I may have stepped over. Do we, Todd, do we have a litigation report update?
Oh, and just sorry to interject. I do believe that we have one other item. Jessica, I don't know if you want to talk about, there's an upcoming training to the UC Santa Barbara Labor Center. If you want to briefly describe that.
Sure. Yeah. Julie and Victoria and I and Yesenia Pulido and Santa Maria met with the new director of the UC Santa Barbara Labor Center, who's very eager to learn more about the ALRB, learn more about our work in Santa Barbara County, which has largely been due in part to Yesenia Pulido out there and working with LCO on their one-stop clinics, working with community-based organizations to get information out to workers and those organizations. So they invited us to present information about the ALRA to interns that they're going to have, or they think they already have them, interns that they've placed with various community-based organizations. I believe some interns are also placed at unions, and they believe it's good information for those interns to understand about the ALRA here in California. So we have a training planned for this month to those interns, and we'll continue to listen to the Labor Center and collaborate with them as they progress on their work.
Excellent. Wonderful. Happy to hear that. And thank you for that follow-up and to the outreach team as well. And I apologize, I was remiss and just blitzed over agenda item 5, the litigation report with Todd. So I will check back in with our chief board counsel, Todd Ratchin, to see, do we have a litigation update?
Just a very short report. Nothing really new from the last meeting. In the litigation pending in Kern County Superior Court, Wonderful Nurseries versus ALRB, case number BCV 24101649. There is a group of intervener employees of Wonderful. Their motion to intervene in the litigation is scheduled to be heard tomorrow morning. And so that's the only real update there.
Great, thank you. I don't believe we have a legislative report. Todd, or the regulatory subcommittee, do we have a regulations update?
No, other than just a reminder to the public that we have a sort of a special hearing on the 16th to hear public testimony on the regulation package.
And they can, or just to add, that they can, members of the public can, and stakeholders can file written comments as well,
Yeah.
or they can participate at that hearing, but we really do want to hear from people.
Okay, that's great. Moving on, our next agenda item is public comment. We'll go first to those who indicated prior to the meeting or during earlier part of this meeting, they wish to make public comment. If you do wish to make public comment, you can let us know in several ways. You may use the Zoom raise hand feature or enter a note in the chat box of the Zoom application. Note that only goes to our executive secretary. So we ask that you not use that for any substantive comments. Please state your name and organization if applicable. And a reminder that the board cannot discuss or respond to or hear arguments regarding any pending case matters. So with that, I will turn it to Santiago. Do we have anyone in the queue wishing to make public comment?
Not at this time.
Okay, we'll give it a moment. Okay, not hearing from anyone. It is 10:08 a.m. and the board will now recess into closed session. Thank you.
Everyone's been admitted and we're recording.
Thank you, Santiago. It is 12:35 p.m. and the board has returned from closed session. Our next agenda item is announcements. The next board meeting is tomorrow, July 11th at 10 a.m., both on Zoom and here at our headquarters at 1325 J Street, Suite 1900 in Sacramento. And with that, this meeting is now adjourned at 12:36 PM. Thank you. See you tomorrow, Member Flores.